What have you guys been working on the past couple days?
A day off.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are getting their legs back and getting back in class. And this is a quick turnaround. I'm actually glad we're playing the same opponent. That way, the scout is very similar, and we've got to make our adjustments and our corrections. And we were very close to playing we played our most complete game of the year. We didn't finish it out right, and we know how we have to adjust, and that's an important part of this next 48 hours.
Was it hard to gauge what kind of team you had, especially without TJ and George, and also Tang for those first 3 games as well? And when you finally got them back, were you able to kind of finally get an idea of what you guys might be capable of?
Well, I've always felt there's a lot of potential with the team. It is difficult, and it is difficult to get out there and produce what you want to produce on the offensive side. You have more depth on the defensive side, so you have more energy. And we've caught some bad breaks. That's kind of the way it is. The guys have done a good job, handling it and trying to play hard. But the truth of the matter is, you got 2 guys out that are potential starters, and then in this particular game, we got Kenny and Cade now. Right after we get the other guys back. So that's stuff that we have to deal with, and I think we'll be stronger in the long run because of it. But where our adjustments, right there, we're right there to win a basketball game the last time out, and we played 2 good halves before that to put ourselves in position to win against good basketball teams. So we're getting better. We're definitely getting better. The guys are staying encouraged. This is a great opportunity on tomorrow night to get back at it against a good basketball team.
You mentioned that you guys played some of the best basketball you played, and I noticed the possessions. They were patient. They were waiting for a good shot. They didn't rush shots. I guess what do they need to do to sort of do that for 40 minutes against? Obviously, they're playing the same teams. That's going to help. But I guess what do they need to do to keep that going for 40 minutes?
Well, I think we got to continue to play fundamental basketball. We're doing that at a much better starting point than a year ago. When you think about our offense and even the effort on the defensive end. VCU picked up their aggression level, 6-7 minutes left in the game, and we didn't respond. We didn't block out like we need to. And when you're not doing that and the other team's getting aggressive, it can knock your confidence down, and that kind of happened in this game. And we can't allow that to happen no matter what kind of run they go on. And we have to learn how to finish a basketball game, a close, intense basketball game, and that's part of this learning process as well as you put a whole new team together.
Have you ever been in a situation where you played the same team twice in a row? And I guess what's the difference in preparing? It's obviously you can go in, like you said, Sunday you prepare for them before that, and then you can kind of keep the same scouting plan for Wednesday.
I like it. We're playing good basketball teams right now, and the closest setting would be at the end of the year when you play the first round matchup of your conference tournament. That's happened, but usually there's a couple days off before you do that, or more of a break before you do that. So, they're going to have to. They're going to have to come in here, and I'm sure they're going to want to make their adjustments with how the game went, and we're going to do the same. We've got to have a little more effort, and we've got to get us on the positive side. And there's definitely so much room for improvement still with this basketball team. And as guys get back into the mix, like TJ, a little more comfortable. I think George had the first game jitters, and I think he'll be better in this basketball game, and I think guys will settle down. Tang is still probably the 3rd game of the year, I think. So those are the things that we want to definitely take advantage of.
TJ obviously didn't have the first game jitters, came out with 17 points. I guess how impressed were you with his play, and just how encouraging was that going forward, knowing that you have him coming off right away and with that kind of production?
Well, I think in that kind of game, up and down, a lot of trapping, a lot of quick decisions, you're probably best suited to be a guard in that situation and actually handle things at that speed. It's kind of tough for a forward, and that's why George, that adjustment period was a little difficult for him. And now he has to we watch tape with him and make sure that we cover everything that he needs to cover, and he just needs to slow down. But guards naturally see things in a little bit slower, mentality. So that's why TJ, I think, is able to adjust, and he's a really good basketball player. And there's certainly room for him to find areas to improve in that game. I mean, he turned that ball over just a little bit too much, and I think as he watched tape, he understood. He's probably rushing a little bit. So very pleased with how he's doing, and he brings a totally different complexion to the team because of how he shoots the ball, and he gives you another ball handling guard. He rebounds well. You know, those types of things are really important, and it's great to have him back.
How much are you coaching adjustments this week, as maybe in contrast to maybe a typical, game when you are playing the same exact opponent again?
We have a lot of adjustments to make, to be honest. Our spacing was bad. We have to continue to move the ball. I thought VCU did a good job scrambling on defense, and we have to get the ball to the other side and really move the ball. I think we could rebound better on the defensive end. I think we can hurt them a little bit on the offensive glass. Those are things, now that we're getting more guys in the mix, that our depth has to be a factor. And there is for sure room for improvement with this basketball team. And VCU will test you because of what they do defensively, and they try to disrupt you, and we have to make sure that we play a little more patient basketball and definitely keep them off the glass. Protect the lead when you have a lead. The other team can only pick up their aggression level both in a trap situation and on the offensive glass, and that's what got them that win in the last time out. So no matter how the run is, whether we're making a run or VCU's making a run, we want to continue to improve on how to handle it.
How important, obviously you want to win just because you want to win, but with the profile, or at least the run that VCU made last year, the Final Four, they've kind of become a household name, sort of, at least, in the interim. You think getting a win, at home with the fans here would be a good win for, fans to say, hey, you guys knocked off a Final Four team from a year ago, even if they may have lost a lot of those players that were here on that team last year?
Well, I think it's a mentality. I think there's some guys still at this level. You got to win a basketball game against a good basketball team. And you could even use our football program and Coach Taggart as a great example. Look at the mentality, 3-4 weeks ago compared to the mentality now, and it all starts with a win. And that factor, that believe factor, and that buy-in factor, that's always an important thing to kind of change the mental aspect of the game. And a win cures a lot. It cures a lot. I would have liked to learn lessons with a win in the last time out. We really had an opportunity to do that. So can't get that one back, but moving forward, I think a win does mean a lot.
I guess Kevin Kaspar's been playing at point guard a lot. Is he your choice right now? Jamal's been coming off the bench, but is Kevin the guy you're looking at as maybe the starter for games going forward?
He's playing well. He can still improve a bunch. He's a confident, tough kid. He's doing what I ask him to do on the court. And that consistency is what I'm looking for, and right now he's in that spot. Now Jamal came in and gave good energy the last time out, so I'm expecting him to come off the bench and really help. And once again, I don't buy into the starters and who comes off the bench, too much. And I want Jamal to handle that in a mature way and come in with great energy and help us compete.
Both guys bring sort of a different thing to the table. Kevin's more of a scorer, and Jamal's kind of got longer arms, can play defense a little bit. He's taller, I guess. Is that something you like having? You got two guys you can switch in on and off at the same position like that?
Well, I want a point guard that's going to run the team. That's the most important part. I can't. We can't be out there as a coaching staff, directing traffic, and the point guard has to get us organized all the time. And the fact that Kevin has so much confidence shooting the ball is really important, and his toughness on the defensive end. He's doing a good job fighting and battling, and as his minutes get better and his game shape gets better, I think he'll continue to improve. But he made a big jump in this tournament. If you have one guy that kind of made a big significant jump in terms of the play and the confidence, I'd have to point to Kevin.
I guess, is Kenny available tomorrow? Is he still going to be out?
We'll see. There's some testing going on the last 2 days, and the results will kind of come out today. Make sure he's doing okay, and it's important that we worry about his health first, and I'll know in the next couple hours.
What was it that he had? It said on the radio it might have been a stomach thing. But
he had some chest pain, and he had a little shortness of breath, and if you watch the tape, you can kind of see him dragging a little bit. And we just want to make sure he's okay.
And then I guess Caden, what's his status right now?
He's not in right now. He's injured. We've got to rest him and figure out the best case scenario health-wise for him, and that's another kind of ongoing thing. I think we'll know more in the next week.
And that's his left shoulder that he's been wearing the brace on?
It's his left shoulder.
The one that nagged him earlier, right?
It's the one that he rehabbed. He opted not to do surgery because it's kind of a long process. He tried to strengthen it up, and he just has been, he's caught some hits and it's jarred him, and it's really kind of re-injured. that shoulder that has been bothering him that he did not have surgery on. So
Do you have a timetable for him at all, or is it just kind of wait and see things?
it's honestly kind of reevaluate him over the next few days and kind of figure out what's the best case scenarios for him.
So I guess surgery is on the table. Is that possible?
It's on the table for sure, but so is rehab. We really don't have a direction at this point other than let some of the swelling go down and kind of see how he's doing in a few days.
How close is Stephon to getting back? I know he's been doing some early stuff.
He's gonna practice this week, so it'll depend on how quickly he gets into shape, how he handles cutting and physical play, and get him back in the mix.
All right, guys. Thank you.